Welcome to my board game quick start guide for Cargo Noir. This is the rules video. If you need help setting up the game, you should watch my setup video before this one. Cargo Noir is a competitive game about rival crime syndicates smuggling contraband. You win the game by scoring victory points, and you score victory points by collecting these victory point cards. The game takes place over a limited number of rounds depending on how many people are playing. A game with 4 or 5 players lasts 10 turns, while a game with 2 or 3 players lasts 11 turns. If you're the player with the first player marker, the turn marker moves up 1 space at the beginning of each of your turns, including the first turn. The first player marker does not move. On your turn, there are 3 separate phases which are listed on your syndicate card. You will resolve all 3 phases before passing to the player on your left. Those phases are 1. Resolve ship's actions from your previous turn. 2. Trade cargo for victory cards and discard excess cargo if need be. And 3. Send ships out to new destinations. On your first turn, you'll have no ship's actions to resolve and no cargo to trade, so you'll move on to Phase 3, sending ships out to new destinations. I'll cover that phase first. You'll start the game with a syndicate card, 3 ships, and 7 coins. You can send a ship to any of the ports around the outside of the board to attempt to buy the port's cargo. When you do this, place a ship, along with any coins you intend to spend, on the port. If your ship is the only one there at the start of your next turn, you'll get the cargo. For example, if I want to buy the cargo in Hong Kong, I'll place one of my ships there with a coin from my vault. If another player is already at the port, you'll need to send at least 1 more coin than the other player did to try to outbid them. For example, if I want to buy the cargo in New York, but the red player already has a ship waiting with 2 coins, I could try to outbid the red player by sending a ship with 3 coins. You can't send more than 1 ship to any of the outer ports. Finally, you can send any remaining ships you have to the black market to trade for goods, or to the casino to get more money. Once you've placed all of your ships on the board, it's time for the player on your left to take their turn. You'll pick up cargo and get money from the casino at the start of your next turn. Starting with your second turn, you'll get to perform all 3 phases. In Phase 1, you resolve the actions for the ships that you sent out at the end of your last turn. Any ships that went to the casino bring back 2 coins each, which you'll place on your playmat. Each ship you send to the black market allows you to either swap 1 cargo from your playmat with one that's currently showing on the black market, or draw a new random cargo from the bag to add to your warehouse. Finally, if your ship is the only one waiting at a port, you get to take all of the cargo on the port and add it to your warehouse. All of the money you sent is spent, so it goes to the central bank. The cargo on this port is immediately replenished from the bag. If another player has outbid you at the port, you can choose to increase your bid by adding more coins to your stack to outbid the current leader, or give up the cargo and bring your ship home. When you bring your ship home, you get to keep the coins that you are going to use, but you are not allowed to send another ship to that port on this turn. If you chose to increase your bid, then your ship, coins, and cargo remain on the port, and you don't get the cargo until every other player has withdrawn their bid. If you've either brought all your ships home or increased their bids, it's time for Phase 2. On Phase 2, you can trade cargo that you've saved up for victory point cards. There are 54 victory point cards. Each one has a red number in the top left corner, which indicates the cost of the card, and a blue number at the top right corner, which indicates how many victory points that card is worth at the end of the game. Most of the victory point cards are just good for points, but some of them also provide you with an in-game bonus. The warehouse card allows you to store additional cargo between turns. The syndicate card allows you to collect additional money when you choose to be outbid by a competitor for cargo at a port. The cargo ship card allows you to add another ship to your fleet. You can have no more than 2 copies of each of these special cards. You pay for these cards by trading cargo from your warehouse to the bank. The exchange rate can be found at the bottom of your playmat. You can trade in sets of similar cargo, or sets of different cargo. Note that the exchange rate for sets of the same cargo increases much faster. For example, if I wanted to buy a cargo ship, I'd need to trade in cargo worth $15 or more. If I had 4 matching cargo, that would be worth $16, and I could trade it for a new ship. You don't get change back from these transactions, but sometimes you have to overpay to get what you want. Alternatively, I could trade in 5 different pieces of cargo for $15 to buy the cargo ship, or a set of 3 matching cargo worth $9 and another set of 3 non-matching cargo worth $6 to add up to $15. Any cargo tiles spent on this turn are put in a pile near the cargo bag and are not added back into the bag until the bag is empty. When you're done trading, it's time to move on to Phase 3, when you send your ships out again. I've already discussed this phase at the start of the section, but it's important to remember that you can't send a ship to a port which you'd previously abandoned on this turn. When you've sent out all of your ships and gotten rid of excess cargo, it's time for the player on your left to take their turn. The game ends at the end of the 10th turn, if you have 4 or 5 players, or the 11th turn for 2 or 3 players. During the final turn, you are allowed to use money from your bank to purchase victory point cards. Each coin is worth $1. At the end of this turn, the game is over and it's time for the final scoring. To determine your score, simply add up the victory point values for all of the cards you purchased over the course of the game. The player with the highest score is the winner. This has been a Board Game Quick Start Guide for Cargo Noir. Refer to your manual for additional information and clarification, and don't forget that the most important rule is to have fun.